Alright, hello everybody and welcome back to another movie review. You can't see it, but I actually got a new poster. I pre-ordered the hardened edition of Call of Duty Black Ops 3. I completely overpaid for it, but I get to play Doris in stunning next-gen HD, so that's all well and good. So, today we're talking about The Green Mile. It came out in 1999 and is directed by Frank Darabont, stars Tom Hanks and the late Michael Clarke Duncan. It is based off a best-selling novel by Stephen King. I haven't read it, and I don't know when that came out, but I have read some Stephen King. He's a very talented writer, and this is a very well-written story. It is. You have Paul Edgecombe retelling the life-changing moment of his life, I guess you could say, which happened back in 1935 when he was a guard on death row in a Louisiana state prison that they called the Green Mile because, you know, when someone is on death row, they're going to the electric chair. They call it walking the mile. The floor was green, so therefore they called it the Green Mile. So, the main characters, you have Paul Edgecombe, played by Tom Hanks. It's a very good performance by Hanks. It's not his best, but it's good. He does very well with the script, and the interactions that he has with the rest of the cast are very good. They seem realistic. Now, the standout performance of this film by far is Michael Clarke Duncan as John Coffey. Very interesting character, very tragic character, and he is the driving force behind the plot. He is accused of murdering two little girls and is put on death row. He is super duper tall. I think I said he was 7 bajillion feet, something like that. He's huge. And he is kind of a gentle giant. They're like, well, how could he have killed these two girls? He seems like a very timid, very frightened man. And it's basically the relationship that develops between the guards and John Coffey and the other prisoners. There's one prisoner, Dale, who is another good character, and there's another prisoner, Wild Bill, who is actually a terrible human being, and you learn to hate him by the end of the film. So, is this a good movie? I think that it is a very good movie. I think that, I mean, it's nothing super special. It's by no, like, the best movie that I've ever seen, but I mean, it's definitely worth checking out if you like movies or if you read the book. I've heard that it's a faithful adaptation. Again, I haven't read the book, so I can't speak for myself saying that, but I have heard in other reviews, stuff like that, that it is very good. It's a very good adaptation of the novel. There's a few things that I want to talk about with this movie. First off, it is long. This is a long movie. This is the longest movie that I've reviewed so far. It won't be the longest by the end of this list, but this is the longest movie that I've reviewed so far, and it feels long. That is the thing that long movies need to avoid. If your movie is running over 3 hours, which this one does, you want to make it still feel, 150 minutes should be your goal. 2.5 hours, I'm fine with that. I like long movies, but this movie drags in some parts. It really, really drags. There's one scene where there's a mouse on death row, not locked away in a cell. They're not going to electrocute a mouse and kill it. But there's a mouse that's hiding around and running around, and that's like a 20-minute sequence of them trying to catch a mouse. It does have significance later on in the film. It's actually a very important part of the plot, so don't skip over it or stop paying attention, but just know it's boring while it's happening. It's kind of like the Fly episode of Breaking Bad, where you're like, oh my god, can something happen? And then you have a friend that skips over it. I'm talking to someone right now. And then you're like, no, you have to watch it. It's important. If you've seen Breaking Bad, you know what I am talking about. I love Breaking Bad. Getting off topic, alright, the performances in this film all around are solid, except for Duncan, who is fantastic. This is the performance of his career. I don't know him in that much stuff. I saw him in Sin City, I saw him in Tim Burton's Planet of the Apes, but we can forget that movie because it was terrible. But this is one of the best performances that I've ever seen. It's a different kind of performance. It's not a, big standout like Jack Nicholson in The Shining, or Gary Oldman in Leon. It's not one of those, but it's a performance that makes you empathize with the character. You feel what they're feeling, you feel what the people around that person are feeling, and it really adds to the emotional impact of this film, and oh my gosh, is there an emotional impact of this film. If you don't already know the ending, don't look it up, because it is, I don't want to discuss it, but just know that overall this is 3 hours of heartbreaking sadness that's very well directed and acted. It is a sad, sad, sad film. Not the sad, you know what? It might be the saddest movie I've ever seen, honestly. I didn't cry because I knew what happened. I knew the ending, which kind of annoys me. But, you know what? It was still sad. I'm now going to read Mr. Malton's review of the film, because I think that he has some good points to make, actually, which is surprising, because I normally don't agree with the guy. So, The Green Mile came out in 1999, we know. It has 2.5 stars, so pretty good, decent review. Alright, an elderly man recalls the incident that changed his life in 1935 when he supervised death row at a Louisiana state prison and encountered a gentle black behemoth movingly played by Duncan with an unusual gift. Well-made film has powerful moments, but they're needlessly stretched over 3 hours, and the central conceit isn't easy to buy. Repeated scenes of executions are tough to take, based on Stephen King's bestseller. There's a few things that I want to talk about. Number one, his mysterious gift, I will not discuss. Watch the movie, figure it out for yourself. Now, him saying that the movie is needlessly stretched over 3 hours, I don't agree with. I think that every scene holds significance in the story of the film, and that every scene needs to be there, but you don't want them to be there. There are parts that you just want to end so that they can get back into the prison so you can see what's going on there. When stuff is going on in the prison, it's interesting. You like what you're watching, and you like to see these relationships developing between the characters. When they're out and about in Louisiana, or when Paul Edgecombe is home with his wife, you're bored. I'm sorry, but you're bored. You're not enjoying it, but, you know, it's decent enough that you don't, you know, go grab another bag of Cheez-Its from the pantry like I might have done a few times. But, you know, it's long, but it's not needlessly long. There are movies, I think, that are needlessly long. I can't think of one right now, but I'll think of one eventually that's just too long for its own good. In the end, though, I kind of have to say the movie's kind of boring, and I don't like to say that, but the fact that the scenes are important, but they don't feel important at the time, kind of makes it so you're bored for, you know, 25% of the film. You know, you're not really super into it. Other parts, you are on the edge of your seat, biting your nails, going, no, 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 oh my... That was my exact reaction. Probably not, but... yeah, okay. So, as I said, is it any good? Yes, it's very good. Is it deserving of its placement? I think that maybe it's a little bit high, but... I don't know. Watch the movie, make up your own opinion. I don't have a super strong opinion on The Green Mile. There are other movies that I have really strong opinions on. This one, not one of them. It is very good. It's very well made, very well acted, very well directed. The story is good. That, of course, credit goes to Stephen King. Again, now I kind of want to read the book talking about it so much. But anyway, guys, that is really all I have to say on The Green Mile. Definitely go check it out. It is a sad movie. If you don't like sad movies, I wouldn't really recommend it. But if you're looking for a well-made drama, you don't mind long movies, I would definitely give The Green Mile a try. Now, one thing that I just want to say before we go is my pen. Some people have asked, where do you buy these fancy pens? And by that I mean, where do you buy that fancy pen? But I have more. You will see them in the next video, or you'll see one of them in the next video. But, interestingly enough, my uncle actually makes these pens. And he gives some to me whenever I see him. I really like this pen. You can't get this pen, so ha ha ha. It's special. But yeah, that is really all that I have to say. So our next review will be Memento, which you will be watching on Thursday. You'll be watching that on Thursday. I'm really looking forward to reviewing that. Very good movie. And we will see what Mr. Malton has to say, and we'll see what I have to say on the matter. So anyway, guys, that is all that I have for today, and I will see you in the next video. Adios. graceful exit.